Hello, today we're discussing building speaker credibility. You can find this information in Chapter 15 of your text. So today we're going to be discussing credibility. To get started, we need a little history. We're going to discuss Aristotle, who is said to be the father of rhetoric. And rhetoric is the ability to observe in any given situation the available means of persuasion. And that is what the entire chapter is about. It's persuasion. So persuasion is just to influence or co-create attitudes, values, beliefs, or behaviors. And according to Aristotle, the three modes of persuasion were ethos, pathos, and logos. So ethos is our ethics or our credibility. Pathos are things like emotional appeals or storytelling. And logos is logic. The primary focus of what we're discussing today will be credibility. So credibility, according to Aristotle, he thought of ethos as our ethics, and this was made up of competence, trustworthiness, and dynamism. So competence, are you qualified to speak on the subject? You can illustrate this by research, source citations, etc. Trustworthiness, can we believe you? And there are many ways you can enhance this. Sometimes it's strong eye contact, sometimes it's using reliable research. There are many ways we can enhance our trustworthiness. And then dynamism. Dynamism is enthusiasm for communication, or enthusiasm for communicating. So for credibility, there are stages, and this is also from Chapter 15. We have initial credibility, which happens before you even begin speaking. You have derived credibility, which is developed during your presentation. You can use this through evidence, your research, organization, etc., your delivery. And then terminal. This is what the audience takes away from your presentation. You could think about terminal and it's the takeaway. So for our presentations, things to think about, again, to enhance our credibility, we're going to be looking at content, organization, and delivery as ways to enhance this. Our content should be based on solid research. We want to be sure to include in-text citations, utilizing proper APA format for our presentations. And a great resource for proper APA format is the Purdue OWL, which is an online writing lab, and I've included the link on this slide if you'd like to look at that. That should help polish your presentation to make sure that you are giving proper credit, which again enhances your credibility. Organization. So an outline is very helpful, or presentation plan. And one thing to think about in any presentation is you want to build redundancy into your presentation. So you basically tell us what you're going to say it, and tell us what you just said. There is much more of a need for repetition in a presentation rather than something that is written, because we can't back up and read it again. So what you present is what we hear, and actually for most of us, we will not even notice that you've used repetition. We just may be more likely to remember what it is that you said. So for delivery, which we can think about as related to dynamism, which also enhances your credibility, effective delivery is beneficial to you and the audience. You want to have good eye contact, minimize physical distractions, swaying, reading, hand-wringing, etc. And you want to try to aim for conversational delivery, which seems comfortable to you and connects you with the audience. You also want to use familiar and inclusive language so everyone feels welcome to the presentation and you're able to pronounce the words that you're using. We have found that actually we have more of a vocabulary writing than we do speaking, which is quite interesting. So again, today our discussion, we discussed a little bit about Aristotle. And again, Aristotle was said to be the father of rhetoric, and he defined this as the ability to observe in any given situation the available means of persuasion. And persuasion, again, is to influence or co-create attitudes, values, beliefs, or behaviors. And the three modes, according to Aristotle, were ethos, pathos, and logos. Again, ethos is credibility, pathos or emotional appeal, storytelling can be an example of this, and then logos is logic. So again, Aristotle, credibility here is our ethics, and I do find this really interesting that he actually connects our ethics to something like dynamism. Are we dynamic? Are we interesting to listen to? According to Aristotle, he really did think there was something fishy or something up with your ethics if you were not an effective communicator. When we think about the time that Aristotle lived, truth, knowledge, wisdom, goodness was passed on orally, so storytelling was important. That was something that we could see the pathos, those emotional appeals. But when we think about credibility itself, dynamism, enthusiasm for communicating, that is very important. But we also have to balance that with trustworthiness. Can we believe you? We do know there are dynamic people that we don't trust. We know there are trustworthy people that aren't dynamic. And then competence here. Are you qualified? What's interesting about this balance and credibility is that we may have stronger areas in one area than another, and that's completely fine. And there are many ways that we can establish and enhance our credibility. So today we discussed just some basic information about Aristotle and enhancing our credibility. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact the communication team at com@wgu.edu or at our 877 number. We're 877-435-7948, extension 1756. Have a great day.